All right, guys, what's going on? Today we are talking about negotiations. What I mean is this. I know right now, if you are watching this, at some level, you are negotiating with yourself. You're negotiating with your lower self. And so, how do I know this? Because not only was I in a place when I myself was overweight, if I go back 10 years, I had 40 plus pounds to lose. I was sick. You guys may know my story. If you don't, you can watch a previous vlog. But I was negotiating with myself. And on some level, I would have you consider that you're doing the same. You're negotiating with yourself right now. And from a foundation of lies. I always go back to being overweight and not fit as an example. As I continue to get hate online, as I progress and do these vlogs, people are defensive. As soon as someone like me comes along and I question their mindset and I question their habits and I question their discipline and consistency, they get fired up. That's okay because I understand it. I understand being in a position where somebody says something and it makes you reflect on yourself. It's the holding the mirror up to you, right? And that's why fitness is such a great thing. So I know that you're negotiating with yourself. And if let's just talk about dad bods, but let's say you're dad. Let's say you're running a business. Let's say you have a couple kids, you have a wife, and you have some pounds to lose. Guess what? I was there too. And I would tell myself exactly what you're telling yourself right now. And that is, it's not that bad. Or you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat really good Monday through Thursday. And then I'm just going to take the weekends off because that'll just keep me where I'm at. I won't gain any more weight, but I won't lose any weight. Do you guys see the problem with that? When I would go out in social settings, I would look at the other dads and compare myself if I was fatter or skinnier than they were, or if my belly was bigger or smaller than theirs. If I was the dad that had the bigger belly, I felt like a giant POS. But if there's a dad that had a bigger belly or had more weight to lose than I did, then I'd be like, it's okay. And I'm here to tell you it's not okay. I'm here to tell you you have to stop negotiating away the version of you that you need to chase. You have to stop negotiating with this lower version of yourself. But when you look up the definition of being humble, it's the modest or lowest version of yourself, basically. I just kept negotiating with myself internally that it wasn't as bad as it really was. But truth is that it was. I kept putting on the weight. I kept not working out. I kept the eating habits I wanted because I was comfortable. And by negotiating in a way that served my lowest version of myself, I kept myself stuck. I don't want you to be in that position. If you don't have a coach, it doesn't have to be me. If you don't have a mentor, it doesn't have to be me. If you don't have a brotherhood, it doesn't have to be my brotherhood. It certainly can. And I hope you reach out and I can send you the info, but it doesn't have to be. The point is this: you have to get around other men that will empower you to stop negotiating with yourself where you currently are. And for me, I did this alone. The weight that I lost, the getting fit, the mindset stuff, I'm doing exactly what you guys are probably doing right now, which is thinking you can do it yourself, right? The DIY. I can figure this out because I think as men, we all inherently believe this. It doesn't matter what the problem is. If someone's like, hey, you need to go build a spaceship, I'll figure it out, right? This is the dad superpower. I will figure it out. You could be in the worst mental state. You could be dead tired that just turning over just makes you scream in pain. And your wife or your kids will come to you and they'll ask you something. And we'll figure it out, right? We're good as men at figuring out things as they happen in life, but it's going to take you longer. That's why having a mentor, coach, community, guided program, or a map is so crucial. That is exactly what I offer because I wish I had myself right now and the things that I know and the things that I've invested in and the coaches that I've paid and the coaches that I fired. I wish I had all of that wrapped up in a sweet little package in a box and go, here you go. what you seek as a dad, what you seek as a man is in this box. And it's not going to take you 10 years to do it. It might take you 1 year, but I just 10x'd and shortened the amount of time that it would take you by doing what I offer to help men with. And I'm damn good at it. I have done so much work on myself that there's almost literally nothing that I haven't encountered. I've worked with men that are on the brink of divorce. I've worked with divorced men. I've worked with men that are severely overweight and sick. We can solve this together if you just join my community. I wish when I was 225 pounds with the dad bod, beer belly, bitch tits, mental fortitude didn't even exist in my mind. That I had a guy like me to come up and say, "Hey, Dad, I know where you're at and I know what you've been through. And I know that you've bought this program, listened to this podcast, and bought this book. And it seems like it's never going to work out. And I'm here to tell you to stop negotiating with yourself because we negotiate the things that we want in life to bring them down to a level that make us comfortable. It took a lot of hard lessons for me to figure this out. And that is why I teach it. So I know where you're at. I know you feel disconnected. I know you feel frustrated. And I know that there's something inside of you right now that you don't feel satisfied with. It could be your body, it could be your marriage, it could be your job. Maybe you're not connected to God. It could be all of those things. We talk about all of this inside my brotherhood. And that's the whole other massive benefit that a lot of men don't have right now. Tell me a place where you can go with other men all across the country and you'd be like, "Hey, my wife is doing X and it's pissing me off." Have any of you ever experienced this? And then you're going to get John over here chiming in. Then you're going to get Adam from over here chiming in. And then you have a place to bring your burdens inside the Dominate Daily Dads group. We have weekly calls, we have challenges, we have disciplines, we have all kinds of stuff inside the community. And my hope is that you'll join. If you're negotiating with yourself, you need to find out why and where these gaps are that whatever you're seeking. If you're seeking to lose weight, that's cool. I'm not a personal trainer, but we work on the proper psychology that's going to allow you to show up how you need to every day. And you're going to dominate every day in order to lose the weight. All the while, you haven't been provided a meal plan. All it is, hey, don't eat like an asshole, move your body every day, and keep checking that box every day. And don't quit. And understand there's things that are going to come up and there's hurdles. And we're both in the coaching space. He's doing massive stuff in the corporate world. I'm over here in the health and wellness. He told me, he's like, "Paul, you've been through so much from a firefighter to a business owner to losing your best friend to losing your health, running a business with your wife. You cold plunge, you eat healthy, you work out." He's like, "Dude, you're intimidating. I know how you coach. I know how you've been trained. I do a lot of the same things you do. And sometimes you're intimidating to me." I really took heart to that. This is so funny, man. But my point is this: you need someone like me in your corner because I want you to win and I want you to do it in less time. And I don't want you to spend as much money as I've had to. And I don't want you to trip yourself up over the hurdles that I've tripped myself up over. Here's the thing: you can do it. You just need the right people in your corner. If I'm coming off as intimidating, I see that as a good thing because I don't pull any punches. I was a firefighter for 14 years. I had no time for bullshit. And you've hired coaches where they're like, "Well, Paul, you're in sales, you should do this and you should do that." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to try and sell you on why you should get better. I have a program that does it. It's $297 a month, or we have a year program or a lifetime program. You should join. Your mind will be blown. What do you have to lose?" And you might be like, $297 a month's a lot. Well, guess what? I've paid way more. I've paid $3,000 a month for coaching. But if that's you, we have some mindset stuff to do. And there are guys that can't afford that. That means we even have more work to do. Why can't you afford that? To work on yourself and build the life that you're seeking. And your wife's going to benefit. Your kids are going to benefit. You run a business. We have a whole separate portion of that in our community for guys that run businesses. Guys, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. So many guys are talking about men's mental health, but they don't do anything for their own mental health. And that is why I'm so raw. That is why I'm so committed to telling the truth and that I just open everything up and I have literally nothing to hide. But everything else, man, I am an open book. You need to stop negotiating with yourself, Dad. It's hurting you. It's hurting your wife. It's hurting your kids. It's hurting your future grandkids. It's hurting your legacy. It's time to fucking rise. It's time to go. So, Drill, I have the Dominate Daily Dads coaching group. We have a whole platform. We do weekly calls. We're doing 5 to 7 calls a month. So they're not just weekly, but there's a lot of different calls in there. And there's other men in there. And we go over dad stuff, man stuff, business stuff, God stuff, fitness stuff. We go over all kinds of stuff. It'll blow your mind the amount of value that you get for $297 a month. I have massive ways for you to save money. I have a lifetime one-time purchase. I have a year program that should be $25,000 and it's like 95% off. You can pay me in Bitcoin if you want to. So, this is my call to action for you. If you're negotiating with yourself, if you're struggling in any of those areas, fitness, family, finances, and you just know that there's something inside of you that has not been satisfied yet, and you know that there's more, that you have another gear inside of you, send me a direct message, comment below. We can either hop on a quick call and I can tell you more, or I can just send you the link to join. $297 a month. I will blow your mind. But until then, you can keep watching this free stuff. I promise you the value inside this group is way more than what you get here on YouTube. So until then, guys, dominate daily.